All right, so we're going to go over, we're going to switch gears a little bit here, and we're going to talk now about deep half guard. And the reason that I picked these three out, and this is exactly what my game is these different positions: half guard with the knee shield, deep half, reverse de la Hiva, is because you can flow so well in between one or the other. And so I showed you a little bit of transitions from half guard into reverse de la Hiva and de la Hiva. Now I'm going to show some transitions from half guard into deep half guard, and then also some just kind of key tips when you're getting in there. If you're, again, this is advanced level, so I'm kind of assuming you're pretty comfortable with this. So this is going to be maybe more of a review for some of you. Some of you higher level guys, some of the guys that are purple belts, just starting to play with some of this stuff, there might be some good key takeaways that you can get from there. So there's a bunch of different ways you can get into deep half, but there's two ways that I really like to show, especially when you first start learning, because I think these are more simple ways to get in it without having to get too much into forcing the position. So I find when we're in half guard, one of the easy ways to get in this, again, I showed when they bring their leg up and they plant this inside leg. I can go to reverse de la Hiva or de la Hiva, but I can also go into deep half guard. So this is a really easy way to start transitioning into deep half guard with your partner when you first start learning it. Later down the road, again, there's other things you can do. So I'm locked up here nice and tight where I don't want him to be able to get, I don't want him to be able to get his shin slice pass. I'm not wanting to let him do a lot of different positions. But from here, I can actually set up a lot of different positions. I'm going to start by taking my bottom leg, and I'm going to drop it down. Okay, so I'm literally, I got it up here, I'm dropping it down so it's down by his ankle. If I leave it up here and I try and transition into deep half, it's going to be kind of like opening a door from the hinge. When you push at the door from the hinge, I got to use a lot of strength and effort to open the door. If I drop it down and I open up from my heel, or basically open up from the handle of a door, it takes way less effort. So just mechanically, it makes more sense. So I start like this. I'm going to drop that heel down. At the same time, I'm going to take this inside hand and I'm going to scoop under his body. And I need to get my head all the way to his hip. So I'm here, I come down, scoop it in. This drops. Now what I need to do is I need to extend his leg. So my two legs that I have here, I start to straighten them out and see how that straightened his leg. Okay, so if we rewind, we're here. I'm playing inside of here. Maybe he just brought the leg up. I had the sleeve, got through the knee shield that we were talking about earlier, and I want to transition to deep half. Drop this down to the ankle. At the same time as I drop this foot to the ankle, this one underhooks. And then I straighten my legs once it's on the ankle, and that makes his leg go straight. Now, right here, I'm still in front of him. I'm not under him, and obviously our goal is we need to get under his hips and control that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start using my hips and using my legs and do like a little ab workout, right? You see these like 80s, 90s cardio ab workouts. I'm going to swing my legs to the opposite side. At the same time, this is more when you're first starting out. I'm going to take this hand and I'm going to slide this hand under to hide it. If I leave this out, I got to worry about arm bars. I got to worry about him getting an underhook to rewind the position. Later down the road, you can play with this out and not have to worry about submission so much. But for just sake of first starting out with deep half, hide this under here. Now, when I say the ab workout, what I mean is watch my hips. I take my legs, I swing my hips under him. Okay, and I make sure that I keep my knees high. Okay, if I get my legs low like this and he's able to plant his foot on the ground, I'm going to be in some problems. We're going to talk about some good positioning once we're into deep half guard next. But I need to make sure I either keep my knees up, so his weight's back and his foot's off the ground, or I can start playing with getting my hooks. Right, I can play with either an inside hook or an outside hook, one of the two. This we're going to go over next on how to get into deep half with the hooks, but you can always transition to it once you're there. So once I'm in, like I said, this arm is going to swim under, and I'm going to have it under here so that I'm protecting it. I got my knees up so that I'm not worried about his foot touching the ground. Okay, I'm going to keep my head nice and straight. Okay, the second I start breaking my head down, my posture, it's going to make it a lot easier for Dustin to start turning the corner around my head, start breaking down my posture, start escaping. So I need to keep my head nice and straight and up. Okay, and the last little bit is this far hand is going to grab a couple. I got a few different options depending on what move you're going to do. The most basic is I just reach and grab his hip, and I bite down on his hip, so I'm glued nice and tight to his hip. Okay, the other option is I can feed the lapel and grab onto the lapel if I want to do that. Okay, but there's a bunch of different things you can do once you're here. It's just mainly getting into here. That's all we're talking about right now. So again, this first way of getting into deep half, I'm playing a knee shield like this. He brings this leg up. Okay, I decide that I don't want to go to De La Riva, reverse De La Riva. Maybe I feel like he's a bigger guy. It's a little easier for me to get under him and reposition myself. So from here, I'm going to drop my ankle down to his heel. At the same time, I take this hand and I swim under his legs with it. So I'm here, I swim this under his legs. Now, I'm going to straighten my legs as I get my head to his hip. So I straighten my legs as I get my head to his hip. From here, I'm going to start to rock, right? I'm doing my ab workout to get under. At the same time, this hand swims under. So it's the same time. As I was here, and I straighten my legs out to straighten his legs out, this hand swims under as I rock. So I end up in this position. Foot off the ground. This far hand either grabs the hip or the belt and bites down. Make sure it's nice and controlled. Or I reach up. If I can feed the collar, I can get the collar grip. And my head's nice and straight. Okay, so that's the first way to get into deep half. And again, I'm kind of assuming that a lot of you are pretty comfortable with this. That's why I'm not going through like every single detail of this. If you're really interested in learning a lot about deep half, highly, highly, highly recommend buying Ryan Hall's Deep Half series. Freaking awesome DVD set. And he's a phenomenal instructor. But just want to give you a little review on that. And then next, I'm going to show you one other way that we can use to get into deep half.